You should be feverishly preparing for the extremely turbulent times that are ahead of us. The November events are going to bring a lot of chaos to our streets, and what will happen next is anyone's guess. Stores can be looted, delivery trucks can be targeted, resulting in delays that might leave shelves empty for weeks. A lot can happen, and the challenges naturally brought on by fall and winter could further complicate matters. Behind the scenes, forces are building to spark shortages, strain household budgets, and make essential supplies harder to come by. The food we eat, the energy we rely on, the products we need daily, all of these are becoming less secure as we move towards the final months of 2024. Now, at the moment, supply chains are faltering, resources are thinning, the cost of essentials is ballooning. The question isn't just about convenience, it's about our preparedness to face a season unlike any we've seen before. Imagine reaching for pantry staples only to find prices that seem to climb daily, or checking in at your local pharmacy to find they're out of even basic medications. For some, it may mean cold nights due to rising energy costs, or rationing essentials because stores can't keep up with demand. If ever there were a time to prepare like never before, this is it. Now, in this video, we'll walk through 15 pressing reasons why you should consider preparing for what lies ahead. We'll break down the challenges, back them up with facts and insights, and show why a bit of planning today could make all the difference in the months to come. Okay, let's get ready for a season that's shaping up to be anything but ordinary. Without further ado, here are 15 reasons why you should be prepping like crazy right now. Are you ready? 1. Seasonal food shortages. As winter approaches, the impact of this year's unpredictable growing season is becoming very clear. Many crops that were supposed to be harvested in late summer and early fall have been destroyed by extreme weather events, which will translate into fewer fresh foods this season and the next. Now, according to the USDA, adverse weather has decreased the yields for key crops like corn, wheat, vegetables, and fruits, nuts by up to 22% in some regions. Now, the reduced supply will trickle down to grocery stores, and in the coming weeks, we may start to see shortages in many grocery categories. Prices are likely to spike too. Past data shows that a drop of 20% in crop yields could raise prices by as much as 50%. That's why you shouldn't miss the chance to stock up on food while you still can. 2. Rising energy costs. Experts are already warning of significant rises in energy costs as the colder months approach. The U.S. Energy Information Administration has projected that the cost of heating homes with natural gas could increase by 30% this winter, while electricity costs are likely to rise by 15% in some areas. In other words, heating homes, cooking meals will become a costly challenge for millions of families. But these hikes affect more than just household activities. They drive up the costs of food transportation, storage, production, impacting everything from fuel for delivery trucks to electricity for refrigerated warehouses. You see, with less efficient supply chains, we really should all brace for transportation disruptions and higher costs for everyday essentials. 3. Increased demand for essentials. The feeling of uncertainty is looming over the country, and that's already leading some consumers to stockpile food staples like canned foods, grains, and other household items. This seasonal rush often triggers waves of panic buying, especially during emergencies, which leaves retailers unable to restock quickly and causes prolonged shortages. Studies following the pandemic have shown that when demand surges suddenly, supply chains struggle to keep up, and shortages could last for months. A report by the National Retail Federation revealed that demand increases in essentials like canned goods, paper products, and hygiene supplies increased by over 400% during previous crises. Now, if people start hoarding again, it's wise to have your supplies already stocked. 4. Global shipping delays. Now, the global shipping industry is still working to untangle the disruptions caused by the pandemic. Yep, still. And also geopolitical conflicts, port strikes. Experts predict that these issues will persist through the winter. Data from the Federal Maritime Commission shows that there are over 100,000 containers currently backlogged at U.S. ports, with wait times for unloading stretching up to 2.5 months. The holiday season only compounds this, putting increased pressure on shipping lanes. Basic goods will take longer to be restocked, especially imported products like coffee, spices, electronics, and so on. Now, 5. Trucking and transportation itself and the bottlenecks. The American Trucking Association estimates a shortage of over 80,000 truck drivers in the U.S., and this is slowing down the distribution of everything from groceries to medical supplies. Now, this gap is not expected to improve soon, and the colder months make transportation more hazardous, affecting delivery times. With fewer trucks on the road, many areas around will become more vulnerable to shortages in the coming months. So, if you rely on regular restocks for your pantry, now might be the time to build a small surplus. Right, 6. Extreme weather events. Fall and winter bring unpredictable and extreme weather patterns, from early snowstorms to hurricanes. Now, these events damage infrastructure, they cripple transportation, and can create ripple effects that break supply chains and limit access to many products. The NOAA reports that climate-related disruptions cost the U.S. economy over $100 billion annually. They can destroy infrastructure, increase shipment wait times, and impact retailers and supermarkets across the nation. But if you have an emergency stockpile, this can help to mitigate the risks of unexpected outages and strained access to goods during storm season. 7. Price surges on everyday goods. Now, inflation is still affecting the cost of everything we consume. It's only expected to worsen. This means filling a pantry will become even more expensive in the months ahead, putting additional pressure on already tight budgets. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that prices on food staples like bread, eggs, milk, and so on have risen by more than 14% year over year. Economists are predicting continued increases into early 2025, which will make it harder for families to afford their usual groceries. 8. Ongoing labor shortages. Labor shortages across industries continue to impact production and distribution. As more people retire or shift to remote working, companies in agriculture, manufacturing, retail, they're all struggling to fill positions. For example, the food service industry alone is down over 800,000 workers since 2019, and that's according to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. With fewer hands at every step of the supply chain, the chances of delays and shortages in critical goods are high, especially as we move into a high-demand season. 9. Shortages of key medicines. The FDA has alerted about recent shortages in common medications like antibiotics and over-the-counter cold and flu remedies. As flu season peaks, we can expect demand to outstrip supply for many key medications. A survey by the American Pharmacists Association found that 78% of pharmacies were scrambling to meet demand for certain products, and that was last winter. This year, shelves could be depleted even faster. So, consider securing a supply of necessary medications and first aid items to avoid the rush. 10. Limited access to fresh produce. With colder temperatures come fewer locally grown produce options, making us more dependent on imports from the warmer regions of the world. But exporting nations aren't immune to facing adverse weather and extensive crop losses themselves. That can make fresh fruits and vegetables more scarce. The USDA reports that the availability of certain produce items like berries, tomatoes, leafy greens decreases by up to 30% in winter. Now, for those reasons, you should consider preserving or buying canned or frozen alternatives. 11. the scarcity of winter essentials. Higher demand for items like warm clothing, blankets, heaters could result in stockouts sooner than most people will expect. If you're not prepared, you could find yourself without the warmth and protection you need when temperatures drop. Winter often drives up demand for seasonal essentials like warm clothing, blankets, and heaters. During times of supply chain strain, these items can be hard to come by, especially in the colder regions. Now, according to a report by the International Housewares Association, sales for winter essentials increased by 150% in the colder months, straining inventories. 12. Higher risk of power outages. Now, winter storms heighten the chance of power outages impacting heating, refrigeration, and access to clean water. In several regions, outages can last days or even weeks as repair crews struggle to reach affected areas. A recent report from the U.S. Department of Energy found that weather-related outages have increased by 67% over the past 20 years. Having a stockpile of non-perishable foods, bottled water, and backup power sources can make a major difference in your ability to stay safe and comfortable during these emergencies. Number 13. Decreased availability of healthcare resources. Winter illnesses cause healthcare systems to experience a higher demand for services and supplies. The American Hospital Association warns that hospitals are already stretched very thin. Seasonal changes could limit access to care for those with non-emergency needs. Those who have health needs should secure their medications, secure their first aid supplies, and make sure preventive care is there early to avoid potential shortages and lengthy waits for essentials. 14. Low supplies of household essentials. Paper products, cleaning supplies, and hygiene items are often taken for granted, but every time something interrupts the flow of goods, these items are amongst the first to disappear from stores. A survey by Consumer Reports highlights that shortages of household essentials are likely to return during high-demand seasons, especially when global supply chains are stretched. Stocking up on them will prevent you from running out of essentials when restocking becomes challenging. 15. Delays in repair parts and supplies. Low temperatures can be hard on homes, vehicles, and appliances, and if something breaks, repair parts and supplies may be hard to come by. Whether it's vehicle maintenance or a household appliance repair, having tools and parts on hand could save you from extended downtime next season. Oh, so there we are. The signs are clear, and the need to prepare is more urgent than ever. Don't you agree? You must do. Look, this isn't about sounding alarms. It's about taking smart, simple, practicable steps to ensure you and your loved ones are equipped to handle what's coming. Imagine a winter where you're not scrambling for essentials or rationing supplies, but instead have the peace of mind that you're ready, come what may. It's a choice we can make now. This season could be a test of readiness rather than reaction. Sometimes, a little preparation is all it takes to keep the storm at bay. And if you want to stay informed, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell for our latest insights on navigating these uncertain times. Thank you for watching.